Welcome to Hopkins High School as we kick off week number 2 of the prep football season for 2019. It's a Suburban Blue sub-district game tonight. The Armstrong Falcons and the Hopkins Royals. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Joe Basil. And Joe, not a bad way to start for both of these teams, each coming in at 1-0. Hopkins defeating Apple Valley last week. Armstrong really an impressive showing, shutting out what is traditionally a very good Spring Lake Park program.
Very much so. And, you know, with game one, it's always a little bit sketchy. You never know which way it's going to go. So when they both got W's, and I'm sure they're very pleased. And now, you know, they'll settle down in game 2.
Both teams last year 4-4 in the regular season, and then each lost their first playoff game. They had quite a shootout last year. Armstrong ended up winning it by 4 over here, 41-37. It doesn't really sound like both coaches necessarily expect it to be that kind of a back-and-forth track meet, maybe nearly as much. Both defenses seem to be a little bit better than they were a year ago, too.
Right, and in talking to both coaches, they kind of both predicted that, yeah, probably be a little more low scoring. And in the case of Armstrong, I think they're missing a couple of their running backs this evening, so that may hurt them, and you know, so we'll see how that plays out.
Let's talk about key players in today's game for Armstrong. They've got a great receiver, Ty Bowman, in fall camp working primarily as their quarterback. We may see him at that spot some tonight as well, because Jake Breitbach, their 3-year starter, is just coming back off a knee injury. But Bowman, really one of the better receivers around the metro area and showing some versatility, helping out the team in other ways too.
Just shows you how good of an athlete he is. And I remember him when we did the Cooper Armstrong game last year, and what a great athlete he is. And so we look to maybe see him spell Breitbach a little bit tonight.
And for Hopkins, junior linebacker who also might see a little time in the backfield. He's a physical guy, R.J. Chikolas.
Right, and talking to the coach there, they said Coach Den Hartog, I know, mentioned that they might be subbing in like 3 different running backs at various times. Yeah, and Chikolas, hard runner, also plays linebacker on the Hopkins D.
And definitely Armstrong, from remembering last year's film, they know they have to keep an eye on number 5 when he's coming out as a blitzer on the linebacking core. I think both of these teams, you know, cautiously optimistic about having really nice seasons here too. And as we said, you know, nothing better than starting out 1-0, except maybe starting out 2-0. And I think the teams, both coaches are looking to see progress too. Maybe cover, you know, for some of the mistakes that they did make in season or week number 1. It's no longer opening night, so now you're kind of looking to get into the heart of your season with maybe a crisper performance.
You know, and one of the things, Jay, that sometimes gets overlooked is special teams. And last week when we were talking to Coach Den Hartog, they gave up a couple of scores in special teams on punt, and so he assured us that they worked pretty hard on that this week and to shore that up.
All right, should be a good one here this evening. It's Armstrong and Hopkins. We'll kick off on a warm night here from Hopkins in just a moment. And welcome back here to Hopkins as the Royals get set for battle. They will be receiving the opening kick as Danny Bees gets set to kick it off here for Armstrong. Deveris Thompson, the deep back, along with Demetrius Patton for Hopkins. As the Royals will get their offense an early look with the football and see what they can get going. A little bit of a warm night. Joe and I were talking before the game here that hasn't really been much warm weather to speak of, and this has been a little bit of an uptick, and it wouldn't surprise me if guys maybe feel a little bit gassed earlier than usual because of it. Bees is going to keep this one on the ground, fielded on a hop at about the 22-yard line, and straight up the gut is Jacolas with a nice return of about 20 yards to the 42. So Hopkins with great field position. Armstrong electing not to kick it deep, and it does not pay off for them.
Yeah, and sometimes, that the little ground ball kick like that, Jay, can throw the timing of the kickoff team, throw their timing off a little bit, and I think maybe that's what happened there.
There's a look at Noah Kim getting his chance as a senior to lead this Hopkins offense, and Coach Den Hartog said very smart football player. He's going to do the right things with the ball and take care of the ball. From the 44 now, first down for Hopkins. Play fake, and he'll throw it out in the flat and completes it to B.J. Murph, and that'll be a pickup of about 5 as you get a look at the starters for Coach Den Hartog and crew. So a nice safe throw to get things started out.
Exactly. Yeah, you always take care of your quarterback with that one. And I remember last week Cooper did the very same thing with their young quarterback, and that's smart.
Second down and 5 here for Hopkins as they approach midfield already on this first drive. Going to go with the handoff to Dixon. And he is wrapped up and will be close to a first down here. He needed to get to the 46. Looks like he might be just short.
A little bit shy maybe, Jay.
About a yard or so. Dixon going to be relied on maybe more than usual because A.J. Campbell's a little bit banged up. He has an ankle injury. He'll play defense tonight, but probably not offense. And so Dixon will see a good workload, presumably for the Royals, although they'll work in a few other guys in the backfield as well.
We're seeing an odd front from Armstrong, and they walk up a linebacker.
Oh, and the snap got away from Kim, and then a fight for the football, and it's going to be Armstrong with the recovery. Dacian Francis comes up with the recovery for Armstrong. It sure looked like Hopkins still had the best bet to get to this ball, but they apparently weren't able to cover it.
Yeah,
no, Dixon had it squared away from him, and it stayed alive, and Dace Francis comes up with the recovery. So a big one early, as things had started out pretty well for Hopkins, getting the nice kick return and then a little bit of offense going on the first couple plays. But one of the leaders of that Armstrong defense, Dacian Francis, with the recovery. So it'll be Jake Breitbach and crew out for Armstrong at midfield here, right at the 50, as they try and capitalize on the turnover. And again, Breitbach wearing the brace on that left knee. Going to go with a handoff on first down. That one didn't go too far as Jacorian Barnes coming up with the big stop.
Armstrong showing the pistol right away, but as you said, not much on that one, Jay.
No gain for the junior Caleb Jones, who again, they've got a couple of guys who are banged up in front of him, so he'll be counted on to carry more of the load than usual tonight as well. And Breitbach, they don't really want him running much, just coming back off that injury. He is a very good runner, but it's not going to be by design if he does tonight. Breitbach stepping in, throwing, and that one batted away. Getting his hands up was Deontay Bryant there on that pass into the flat, so it'll be third down and long here for the Falcons.
Bryant almost picked that off, Jay. I think it sort of surprised him because he was right there, and the ball was kind of nose down and going down towards the turf.
Coach Den Hartog said that that Bryant's really improved and he's a great athlete. He said some colleges are definitely starting to take notice. He's come a long way as a player. Third down and 10. Breitbach throwing and juggled and caught, and that'll be a first down for Armstrong as he's able to connect there with his target Jordan Lewis, who is not a real big guy, but he found a seam in that Hopkins defense, and they'll pick up 16 on the play.
Yeah, real nice fluid motion that time by Breitbach, kind of a deep in pattern, and move the sticks.
From the Hopkins 34 now, first down and 10. Armstrong's first possession of the night after Hopkins fumbled the ball away. Breitbach under pressure, getting out to the outside and to the sideline. He'll be forced out of bounds after gaining about 2 or 3. As you get a look at this starting lineup for Jack Negan and the Armstrong Falcons. Jason Potts, the offensive coordinator for their team. And again, Armstrong fans well aware, but Jake Breitbach, it's just been 6 months since he tore his ACL in basketball. They quite honestly really did not expect him to be ready this soon, but he was cleared by the surgeon. His family talked it over, and they say, yeah, have him go ahead and play. He really wants to as a senior.
I have the feeling when he pulls it down and runs, Jay, they probably hold their breath over on that Armstrong sideline.
I think you're right. Oh, Jones is body slammed to the turf. Jacolas got there, as did Barnes, and Barnes picked him up and slammed him down. And about a yard gain, as you see that Hopkins defensive unit, and they performed pretty well last week in their win. Again, both of Apple Valley's touchdowns were at special teams, so basically you could say their defense pitched a shutout, and Armstrong's defense did pitch an actual shutout.
And Armstrong's returning 4 or 5 O linemen, but both runs inside haven't made much money yet tonight, Jay.
Breitbach looking to throw under pressure, and is there going to be a flag on that? Hopkins bench sure thought so. And then the pass goes incomplete. It did not look like there was a flag down. Now there is one. This might be intentional grounding. The flag came out way late. It had the appearance of a possible hold on the rusher coming right in Breitbach's face. But ultimately, I think this is going to be an intentional grounding penalty, just as much as anything because of when the flag came out, which was after the play.
Yeah, I think they were looking for maybe a hold on the Hopkins nose guard Jay, huh?
They are pushing Armstrong back.
Well, so far Armstrong has showed 2x2, 3x1, pistol, and then a little bit of side by side with the running back and the quarterback. Potts told us before the game.
Oh, they're going to pick the flag up. I'm sorry, Joe. After conferring, that downfield official, I think, said there was somebody relatively in the area, apparently.
Oh, okay.
There's a look at Jack Negan, 6th year, done a nice job, an assistant in the basketball program as well. And he's been this year working with their defense. So they're going to go for it here on 4th down and
about 5.
Short 5. This time pretty good protection, and the pass is complete. Tackle slipped down the sideline, and they're going to mark him out of bounds just short as Lewis tried to reach that ball out. They'll give him a gainer down to the 2. So a pickup of about 27 on that catch and run. And Lewis did a nice job spinning away from this tackle attempt here as well.
He sure did. Kind of a deep hitch. But their patterns tonight are a deep in and a deep hitch. And, of course, Breitbach showing off his arm a little bit.
And that time got better protection as well at enough time. So they'll come with a heavy formation here. Francis is in the backfield as the tailback. They hand it off to him. Francis not going to get there on that one. There's a nice job defensively by that Royals front. A.J. Torfin in on the stop there.
And again, so far, Hopkins has definitely been up to the task on those inside runs, which is good because a good sign for them anyway with Armstrong's experienced O-line.
And if anything, Armstrong bringing in more beef now in front of Francis is you've got DJ Hurst in there, 5'11", 280 as the fullback. Looks like they were going to try and run it straight at him again here.
Some teams call this the Rhino package.
Back to Francis and trying to escape and can't do it. Strung out pretty well as
nice job.
Jackson Drack got a good piece of him and got help to bring him down. See, Francis had to cut real early in that run. They didn't get that one blocked up real well.
No, and they're really beating him at the point of attack, using their speed against Armstrong's strength beef, if you will.
Now they go back to a 3-receiver set and get that heavy package out of there on 3rd and goal. Breitbach faking the handoff, now looking, floats the pass, and it is complete for the touchdown. Bowman coming wide open across the back line of the end zone, and Armstrong is on the board first.
They went trips to the boundary that time, and on the replay, I'd like to see if he came from, well, obviously he came from across the field, but more of a wing or tight end position. And we can't see it on that one, but.
Looked like a little mix-up in the Hopkins secondary. They were kind of talking to each other a little bit about who should have been there on that one. So B's on to attempt the extra point. His kick is up, and it is good. So with 7:47 to go in the first quarter, Armstrong strikes first, and two of their big stars, Breitbach and Bowman, hooking up for the touchdown. 4 yards. And dropped it in there. He had plenty of room. You could almost tell Breitbach didn't. I don't want to mess this up. He's so wide open. He just kind of
almost kind of aimed it there a little bit, didn't he?
Did look like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that young man came all the way across the formation. And sometimes, you get lost in what we call the wash. And there he was, running free and clear.
And I think that was definitely what they were hoping for with that pattern. Now, the one thing you have to think about that is, you got to block well enough for him to have time to drag across like that, and you got to give credit to those guys up front.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's a slower developing play. You're right. Well, we'll see if it's another ground ball kick here, Jay.
Yeah, it didn't go the way they would like last time.
I don't know if he meant to do that or not. I'm not sure.
It kind of seemed like he did to me, but this time they're going to kick it a little higher, but it might go out of bounds. Yes, it did. Bounced back into the field of play, but it had already hit out.
That'll drive the special teams coordinator a little crazy when he kicked the ball out of bounds. Although I know he was going for kind of a directional kick there, but I want to see it go out of bounds.
They know Hopkins has some guys that can really run too,
right.
And sometimes you don't want to, serve them up a really good momentum coming forward to receive that kick. There's a look at Coach Den Hartog, and a good visit with him this evening.
17 years at the helm here at Hopkins, Jay. Well, it says 16th there. Okay. I thought he told us 17, but I want to shortchange him.
They started on the 35, second possession. Hopkins had a couple nice plays to begin their first drive, but then a snap got away and was recovered by Armstrong. So we'll see what they can do here as Noah Kim, again, under pressure here and has to get rid of this one. Look at the defensive starters for Armstrong. I started to talk about earlier, Jack Negan, he said, all throughout my coaching career, I've basically worked with the offense. This year they had a defensive coordinator leave to go to a college job kind of late in the summer. So he said he's been working with the D, and he said, to be honest, it's kind of jump-started me a little bit to be on that side of the ball because I'm still learning and everything too.
Sure.
They go with the sweep action to Murph, and he is wrapped up and dropped. Good pursuit there by Hurst, but we get a flag down at the end of the play. Going to be a hold against Hopkins.
Armstrong has showed an odd front, kind of a 3-3 stack, Jay, which in my experience, 3-3 stacks sometimes are, that's a tough D. It's tough for your O-line to know who to take and who to block.
So it'll be a holding. They're going to decline that penalty. I was just going to say, I wonder if they might, because they stopped him for a loss on the play. It's not too often that you see a holding penalty decline, but
right.
When you get a good stop like that, sometimes it's more valuable to have that down, especially when it makes a third down now.
Yeah, great pursuit over there.
So a loss of 3 on that sweep, and then again they decline the penalty, so it is third down.
Stacking their receivers at the top of the formation there, Jay. Now he motions out.
Kim dropping the throwing complete, but not much of a gain there as he's able to.
Yeah, I think Armstrong would give him that all day long.
Yeah, as he hit James Orville there and stopped immediately, though. Coming up to medium for Armstrong was Cade Kempel there. So you get to completion, but it's really only about a 2-yard gain. And Royals will be forced to punt here as Rohi Kande will come on to punt.
And I think we got Bowman and Barrett back there, Jay.
Good snap. Steps into it. Didn't hit it real well off the side of his foot. Barrett's going to watch it bounce. It kind of takes a lateral bounce down to about the 39-yard line. So
pretty good field position.
Punt of only 27 on the play. No return, though. And Armstrong will get it at their 39, their second possession of the night.
First and 10 on their own 39-yard line.
Armstrong didn't run the ball much or well, and in fact, Coach Potts, the old coordinator, was telling us that tonight because they got a couple backs out and because they've got a quarterback coming back from an injury who's normally a really good runner. He said, I'm thinking we might need to throw the ball a little more tonight than maybe what we would ideally do.
Yeah, he freely admitted they're going to put the ball in the air a little bit more tonight.
Breitbach fakes the handoff and will take it himself on the sweep. He's shoved out of bounds there by Easton Hoyle Thompson. Ani, that is. Forgot the number switch, Aaron Ani.
A little bit of a read option on that one. It's probably a good thing he did pull it because Hopkins was stunting along the front there, and anything inside, I think, would have been stuffed.
Yeah, Jones didn't look like he was going to have anywhere to go. He was probably thinking, thank God he didn't hand me that ball. 2nd and 4 here. Breitbach this time will hand it off to Jones, and a nice gap up the middle before Ani is able to spin him down. It's a first down, though, for Armstrong into Hopkins territory at about the 47.
Yeah, and I think what happened there, Jay, just that little bit of jet motion, got one extra linebacker out of there, and then he hands it back, and that's probably their best run inside, I think, tonight so far.
Approaching the midway point of this first quarter, Armstrong leading it 7-0 and trying to get a march going here now on their second possession. Breitbach fakes it, he's under pressure, and down he goes. The rush gets there as he had to cover it up as Bryant gets the sack for Hopkins.
Yeah, he's 33. Bryant is quite the specimen, isn't he, Jay? I mean, he is long, yeah, he's tough to handle out here on the edge.
And if he didn't get him, Campbell might have. So Breitbach's a competitor, but did the right thing by just covering it up and getting down at that point because they were about to drill him.
He did. Sometimes the smartest thing to do is just, in that case, you just have to eat it.
2nd and 18. Breitbach going to throw deep down the sideline, and it is complete. Bowman trying to pull away. He'll be wrapped up and dropped, but he's inside the 5-yard line before Murph can drag him down. Be about a 50-yard, let's see where those spotted here, 50 or 51-yard gain.
And Bowman just cruised right by the corner, and I think they had a safety back there as well, Jay. And he just outran everybody.
Breitbach throwing a nice ball up there. Murph, to his credit, realized he wasn't going to be able to make a play on the ball, so he was just going to see if he could catch him and at least stop the touchdown.
Right, make him snap the ball one more time at least.
1st and goal, Breitbach stepping forward, then flips it out, and they are going to get the touchdown. As Jones, that's a neat little play where he steps forward as though he's going to run it himself, and then a little toss. That'll be a running touchdown for Jones. And Armstrong scores its 2nd touchdown here of the first quarter.
Yeah, nice little flip there. A nasty little play, actually. Yeah. High percentage, throw to your back. Always looking for a profit.
Bees will come on to attempt the extra point. Didn't hit this one especially well, and he missed it wide to the right, so the lead will stay at 13-0, but as you get a look at this one again, Breitbach throwing that one and a lateral out to Jones and got some good blocking on the edge and tripped up, but not until he'd crossed the goal line here.
Yeah, place kicking wise, that's kind of the second one. He was able to kind of coax the first one through there, but this one not so much.
So Armstrong building a 13-0 lead here, a little past the halfway point of this first quarter here in Suburban Blue football on CCX Sports. And again, like the first week, we get a Thursday and a Friday football game. It's kind of a double delight. Friday night will be Wayzata hosting Edina, so watch for that one on CCX as well. So the Royals a little bit to work on. And Coach Den Hartog said mostly he was hoping to see fewer mental mistakes than what he saw in the first week. He said, don't get me wrong, we're happy we won the game, but you practice and drill some things and you think they've all got it down, and then you get in the game and a few of those things kind of, the Friday night lights got to him a little bit, he felt like, on that first night.
Yeah, he sure did. Always a nice luxury though when you can do that and then still win the game.
And this time he did what he tried to do last time, keep that ball in bounds. It goes for a touchback, and obviously a long way to run for Thompson to try and get that ball, and couldn't do it. So this time he gets a pat on the head after last time kicking it out of bounds.
Yeah, he did a nice job of hitting that corner over there. Because even if you do field it, your kickoff team, you got basically, just a small corner of the field to defend.
And especially in that particular one too, that he would have had to go a long way to get it. I mean, and he would have been not having any momentum coming forward. So they're actually probably lucky it wound up as a touchback, Hopkins. Here's Kim taking the snap, looking to his right. He fires and completes that one, and then a quick tackle there as a second completion to Orbital there.
Right. I think that's the same route that they opened the game with, Jay. Just a little bit of a hitch route, safe route, and you know what? If the corner is playing soft like that, why not take it?
Also can set something up downfield too if you get those guys pulling up.
This time the corner's coming up a little bit more on him.
Go with the handoff. Ball is loose again. A scramble. Looks like Armstrong might have it, at least initially.
I saw a white jersey and kind of roll into it there, Jay, underneath.
As they unpile, it will indeed be Armstrong football. I think the recovery was made there for Armstrong by Rashad Sherwood, 29. And that's the second fumble lost here by Hopkins.
Yeah, that's a stat that you don't want to lead in, that's for sure.
So you got the handoff clean, but then the ball punched out of the arms there of Dixon. And there you see Sherwood was not exactly the biggest guy there, but he was first to it. He was able to hang on tight enough. It looks like Francis forced that fumble. Francis recovered the first one and forced the second. And so Armstrong in business again in good field position here at the Hopkins 34.
We'll see if they go up top right away, Jay. Sometime on a quick turn like that. Offenses sometimes like to do that.
Going to go on the ground instead, and a nice gainer off the left side as Jones down the sideline, driven out of bounds. But all the way down to about the 12-yard line, and it'll be first down for Armstrong.
At first it didn't look like it was going, and then he slips this tackle right here from the Hopkins, from number 82 for Hopkins, and he was off to the races.
Drack with the stop, but not until he had picked up a nice chunk here. So 1st and 10 from the 12 here for Armstrong.
And they're in the pistol again, Jay.
Right back faking the handoff, rolling right, flings it out there, and it is caught as Bowman has another grab here for the Falcons. See where they'll spot this one. Looks like about a yard shy of the first down, maybe 2.
Yeah, it was play action, kind of a play action sprint out. He actually flooded the zone over there, and I'd throw to Bowman too. He's been almost uncoverable tonight. Tough to defend.
2nd and a couple here for the Falcons. Go back to the ground, and Jones is going to walk on in for the touchdown. Armstrong, an impressive first quarter here as Jones able to score it again.
Yeah, and I'd have to. There was quite the hole there, Jay, and I'd have to see if they ran, if it was just straight up big on big blocking, or if they ran some type of power counter. Maybe we'll get to see it on the replay.
So Jones, his 2nd straight touchdown run. Armstrong not going to go for 2. They want to probably work on this part and say we can't just give up on, if we have a missed extra point, we got to stick with it. This time hits it much better, and it is up and good. So with 4:12 to go here in the first quarter, it is 20-0 Falcons. You get a look at the, you almost get the feeling that Hopkins was guessing wrong on what they were going to get on that play too. They didn't have many bodies over there, and it really only took like one or two, key blocks to get him easily into the end zone.
And they ran the counter, Jay, with their left guard. And Potts told us about his left guard and right guard, how experienced they are and how good they are. And then they brought their H back over as well. So it was kind of like a counter Trey situation. And, he goes in untouched. Turnovers will kill you, right? 2 turnovers, and they converted both of them, didn't they, Jay?
Yeah, so it's a great start for Armstrong in this opening quarter, and Hopkins is going to have their work cut out, but obviously a lot of football to go.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they just need to, settle it down here a little bit and pick up a couple of first downs, and they'll be back in it.
Bees again aiming, and this time Royals will get a decent opportunity on the run back. Spinning out of traffic is Demetrius Patton, and he has a nice run as he is wrapped up, and they go rolling and tumbling together there as Wyatt Knox brings him down. But that's good field position for Hopkins. They'll take that anytime as they're out to the 44. Demetrius Patton doing a nice job on the return here for Hopkins. And they had him kind of shading over to where they'd been kicking it. And you see him stepping through tacklers. He's a tough guy. He's one of the one of their better defensive players. He's also a running back for the Royals. And
yeah, tough guy to bring down. Both times Hopkins returned the ball tonight, Jay, they've had pretty good field position when they fielded it and returned it. Trips to this side, Jay.
Kim looking to the left now. He's going to step up. Got through the first tackle attempts, and he will be brought down right after crossing midfield. So a pretty good gainer there of about 7 for Kim.
Go ahead, Jay.
Not maybe his biggest strength, according to coach, is as a runner, but obviously showed there a little bit of that ability to make a couple guys miss.
Yeah, I like the fact that he changed it up there. He looked like he was going east-west, then he decided to put his foot in the ground, go north-south, and he picked up some positive yardage.
Kim firing quickly out to Murph, makes the catch, makes one guy miss, and then splits between a couple more tacklers and advances it to the 45 or just inside. That'll be a first down for Hopkins.
That's exactly what they need. Get a little flow going, a little rhythm going, and nice job out there making people miss.
First 2 guys were kind of caught looking a little silly there, and then Francis came and put him down. That's a tough thing though in the open field. Guy has a chance to turn and make a move at you like that.
Murph did a nice job there, didn't he?
Here's Kim throwing down the sideline and batted away. Hopkins wanted interference as Orbital was the intended target, and it looked like at first Fernando Ayala was going to try and pick this one off, and then he realized, I don't have the greatest angle. I can see they maybe had a little argument for interference there.
Yeah, I think so too. That ball was in the air for quite a while, and
I thought initially watching the play that it was pretty close, and I could see it being a no call, but seeing that again, I think he did hit him a little early.
I think he did too.
2nd and 10. Here's the handoff. Ooh, look at that power bulldozing run. Francis ended up making the tackle, although Chacolas kind of ran him over a little bit. It was a meeting of 2 number 5s who are really good football players both ways. Chacolas, I think you could say, won that battle a little bit, although Francis did end up ultimately getting him to the ground.
Right, it was a hard run. They brought Chacolas off the wing there, Jay, and kind of faked inside and then handed it back to him.
Chacolas wearing lots of those little black pebbles from the artificial turf on his arm after that run. 3rd down and 7 for Hopkins as they try and get something going here, trailing it big early, 20-0. And they got a little early start there. Be the first actual penalty on, or accepted penalty on Hopkins.
Yeah, just went a little bit early there, obviously.
They were called for a hold earlier, but it was declined because Armstrong had stopped them for a loss on the play. So this is the first accepted penalty on the Royals, and you see turning out a little bit early was the tackle there.
Stacking their receivers near side this time, Jay. Let's see what they do, and then and they go back into their regular 2-by-2 formation.
3rd and a dozen here. See if Armstrong comes with pressure or if they just bring 3. Linebacker is coming up the middle, Francis, and Kim is in trouble, and he's going to go down. Wrapped up first there by Hurst. Francis maybe helped out a little bit, but Hurst, I think, will get that sack. And a big stop there for Armstrong after it looked like Hopkins was getting a nice little march going.
Yeah, they were. Well, Hopkins getting a little traction there, but bringing that backer, and as you say, he didn't get home, but the other fellow did.
So Condi on to punt again.
Kind of an interesting punt formation.
Hits this one better. And Armstrong not going to be able to field it. It takes really a sideways bounce. So some of the Hopkins fans saying, hey, you can see that one's bouncing back toward the line. Grab it. But they will ultimately down it at about the 26. So the worst field position for Armstrong and their first several possessions here.
Right.
There is a penalty marker down, though. It's back near the line of scrimmage. I have to admit, I did not see that one come out initially.
I did not either, Jay. I was watching the 3 personal protectors, and I didn't see it.
See what we have.
Looks like they're back Armstrong up here. Even worse field position.
Personal foul call here against Armstrong.
Extracurricular somewhere out there.
So we said it was already the worst field position they'd had. This makes it a whole lot worse right now. Back spotted inside their 15 at about the 13-yard line. You see the Hopkins band is here this evening. First full week of school here, almost in the books.
This will be a little test for Breitbach and company, Jay.
Going to go on the ground to Jones, and he is stacked up.
Yeah, just trying to carve out a little bit of space. Nothing else, maybe get a first down, get a little room for your punter.
We're kind of seeing that. We talked about it a little bit, I think, in the first week, too, where teams aren't as hesitant as they used to be to put a really small running back in there. If they've got, some of the physical attributes, they've got that foot speed and everything, there's no longer a he's too small to be a running back stigma, I don't think.
Right.
Breitbach rolling out under pressure. Oh, a dangerous one, but he got it to Barrett, who then took a hard hit from Campbell. But he's able to hold on. That one could have been trouble for Armstrong, but he's able to get the completion.
I was a little concerned with Hopkins' pass defense on that, Jay. Armstrong had 3 guys. They had trips out here, and there were only 2 Hopkins defenders. And he completed the pass, but a little bit of a wobbler there, and kind of was fortunate.
So that looks like it'll be the last play of the first quarter, and what a first quarter for the visitors. Our score here after 1 at Hopkins High School is Armstrong 20, Hopkins nothing. We'll be back with quarter number 2 here on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Welcome back here to Hopkins. Armstrong leading the Royals by a score of 20-0 after one as we change ends and begin quarter number 2. It'll be first down and 10. Armstrong at their 27 after the completion from Breitbach to Barrett. Netted him that first down. They've already got 6 first downs to 1 for Hopkins. Breitbach slinging it out there, complete to Lewis. Ooh, and he is thrown down by A.J. Campbell. And it will be a short pickup of 3, maybe 4 on that play.
Right. Yeah, Campbell threw him down with attitude on that, didn't he? Sending a little message there. Got trips to the top of the formation on the wide side of the field on this, Jay.
He got more than I thought on that 6-yard gain. Breitbach under pressure, and down he goes as the backer gets there. Jimmy Murphy had pressure as well coming from Bryant. He got picked up a little bit, but they didn't get Murphy, and Murphy drags him down for a big loss of about 13.
Yeah, and the running back on that kind of gave him kind of a little bit of a feint there, but he kind of ran right through him.
So 3rd and 17 now for Armstrong. Breitbach wants to go with the screen, and that one's going to go next to nowhere as Caden College made the catch, and they'll be about back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Yeah, went with the tunnel screen on that, Jay, and hopes to kind of bust it loose a little bit, but I think Hopkins was ready for it.
So it's an unusual drive for Armstrong tonight anyway, as they are stopped and have to punt it away, and Murph will go back deep to receive it. Bees is the punter as well for Armstrong.
Really nice stop by the Hopkins D, and they needed it.
Yep, absolutely.
So we'll see. We get the ball in number 1's hands here, and
they should have good field position here. And not able to field that punt, and it's going to take a bounce backward, though, to about the 48. So just a 28-yard punt, and excellent field position for Hopkins as they're able to kind of flip the field there. They get that stop, and now they will take over in Armstrong territory at the 48.
Might be one of their better opportunities of the evening here, Jay.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, they've had a couple of decent plays, but when you fumble on, 2 of your first 3 drives, that's going to be tough to overcome.
It is tough. It is tough. I like the way the Hopkins backs run hard. It's just, they haven't had a lot to work with yet.
Completes it to Murph, and again he makes the first guy miss. Francis will ride him down after a gain of about 9, it looks like.
Murph's got a great little wiggle there on kind of those hot screens out there, and every time they've gone to him, got the ball in his hands, he's made some positive yardage, Jay.
2nd and 1 now for the Royals.
They're putting Murph in the slot this time. They're giving him plenty of room.
Kim looking out and throws. It is complete. A little wrestle for the football, but winning the battle's Orvdahl there, and he will pick up the first down to the 34-yard line, a gain of about 5. So 2nd first down of the night here for Hopkins.
Yeah, getting a little rhythm going here, Jay, with their offense. Offensive football is all about rhythm. And we got Murph in the slot on the near side here.
Go with the handoff, and there's some space for Dixon as he rips off a nice gainer there. Brought down by James Young, but not until he picked up another first down for Hopkins.
Right. Again, running real hard, running through tacklers, actually.
He got a little push to get him through the line there as well. So Hopkins has something going now. 1st and 10 from the 22. Kim had to reach out for that one, but he gets it out to Murph. Again, makes the first man miss. Murph down the sideline. Oh, just tripped up. Kevin Hoskins got his ankle. Otherwise, he might have been into the end zone.
Yep. Kind of gave him the old dead leg there and took it away, and off he went. He's shown some real skills. Number 1's a weapon, Jay.
4th catch already for him, and that'll be another first down for Hopkins as we get a timeout taken here. Well, don't forget to vote for the CCX Sports Play of the Week, as each week we choose 4 top plays, and you, our viewers, vote to decide on the Play of the Week. To vote, go to ccxmedia.org, then click Sports and Play of the Week. Play of the Week is brought to you by Chick-fil-A in Maple Grove. So Armstrong back on their heels a little bit defensively, really, for the first time tonight, and Hopkins has something going. And that's, again, you know, you don't like to fall behind early, but I think it's a lot better when that score gets to what it did with 3 quarters to play than if you're, you know, halfway through the 4th quarter and you look up and you're down by 20.
Oh, exactly.
As long as you realize, you know, that there's still plenty of time to make plays to get back in this.
We're seeing in the slot out there, Jay, on the top of the formation, Basil Lulu, maybe the first time tonight, probably coming in to give Murph a little bit of a break.
Kim's going to hand it off to Dixon. Ooh, and he takes a hard hit there. Brought down by Dante Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes met him pretty quick. He just barely got the handoff.
Looks like no gain on the play.
Here comes Murph back into the action. Yeah, if Hopkins can stick this in, you know, they're right back in this thing. 2-by-2 formation this time, Jay.
Low snap, and Kim's going to have to chase it down and just cover it way back at about the 26. And sounded like from Coach that snapping was a little bit of an issue in their first game last week as well, and he had no chance on that one.
You know, and I've been kind of watching that a little bit, and it's the quarterback a couple times made, you know, the snap was like a little east, a little west or whatever, and the quarterback has done a good job of catching it, but that one was just too tough to handle.
Well, it's a tough thing too, because you built your offense, you base it around being in the gun or the pistol or whatever, and you can't really just abandon that. You just have to work with it and keep going. And so a 3rd down and a long way to go here for the Royals. They want to go with a little screen action, looks like, too, throwing out to the left. Condi breaks the first tackle, but there's a lot of pursuit coming, and then he gets away again.
Nobody over here, Jay.
Condi steps around one more and then finally dragged down at about the 12. That was an awful exciting run. It's going to leave them still well short of the first down, but they pick up enough yardage that it's not out of the question to think about going for it here.
Yep, trying to run the tunnel screen. Condi ran, what, about 70 yards, I think.
Yeah, I thought like you, once he got out of there, it looked like he might be able to go, but then Francis Cisse, you see, wrapping up tight. This is what a coach will tell you. Cisse's not very big, but watch him just kind of cling for dear life here, get him around the waist and hang on, and that's what he did. They are going to go for a field goal. Cole Byer, who did not get to kick last week, is their number 1 kicker, and he's here tonight attempting a 30-yarder, and it looks pretty good. His kick is up and good. Nice. So 6:12 to go in the 2nd quarter, and Hopkins gets on the board courtesy of the field goal.
Yep. That's really important. I mean, you know, they come away with points, and they were looking at about a 4th and 12. Tough situation. I was watching the young man kick before the game. Definitely he's got an explosive leg, Jay, no doubt about it.
And important for Hopkins to get points. However, if you're Armstrong, you're thinking, well, they were on the verge of, you know, getting a touchdown, so we're not terribly dissatisfied allowing 3 there either.
Right. No. They're perfectly fine giving up 3 probably. But in this case, Hopkins, Hopkins needed to get something.
And it is a nice feeling to have. I mean, we don't know what the outcome or what the rest of the game is going to be like, but it's a nice feeling to know that if you are in a game where maybe you're down by 2, that you have a kicker that you feel like can make a field goal for you. Because
exactly.
Let's be honest, not every team, or probably not even half the teams around, really could say that.
No, he has a nice explosive leg. Good hang time on this, Jay.
Yeah, nice short kick. Barrett fielding it. And Barrett is brought down by Ani as he crossed the 30. So Armstrong will get another possession here. They had things go pretty much smooth sailing the first few, and then last time ended up having to punt. And it kind of feels like the momentum has maybe shifted just a little bit here to the home team, the Royals.
Yep, a little bit. Decent run back there. They're at the 31. You gotta like that. Hopkins just going to have to dig in here.
Important for Armstrong to stay aggressive, I think, here, kind of show that we're not just, sort of looking to protect this lead into halftime or anything.
Right. Now Hopkins has shifted kind of a 3-on-2 situation over here on the receivers.
Jones making a cut, and a pretty good one it was. Chicola's fought off a block to bring him down, but he did pick up about 5 on that play. Jones, I think he's probably, obviously you don't ever want to see a teammate get hurt, but I think he's enjoying the added workload tonight. He's seeming to get, better and more comfortable as the game goes.
I think you're right. Yeah. And anytime you can make 5 or 6 on first down, that's just an OC's offensive coordinator's dream.
Call it a gain of 6 here, 2nd down and 4 for the Falcons. Back they go to Jones, left side, and this time wrapped up. Short gain. He'll not have enough for the first down as he stopped at about the 40.
Right, they ran that jet action again and then handed it behind him like they did earlier in the game, and running behind that big offensive line of theirs.
Boy, he did get closer than I thought, though, to that line to gain, as he's about a half yard short. 3rd down.
Had a little bit of a burst right at the end there, Jay, I think. A little forward progress.
And a timeout taken here by Armstrong. Pretty important 3rd down, I think, in this spot. You don't really want to just turn and go 3 and out and hand the ball back to the team that just drove down the field on you either.
Right, exactly. Yep. And you can't take those timeouts with you, so why not? If you're not in the right formation or you don't like it, probably a really good timeout.
Well, we've played 1 week so far, and now we've got a little bit of a different alignment in terms of teams here. Now in the Suburban Blue, you see Armstrong and Irondale won within the sub-district last week and beating Park Center and Spring Lake Park, and you see Irondale, Park Center, and Spring Lake Park moving into the Suburban Blue. So a nice mix of teams there. I think we should see quite a few pretty competitive games. In fact, we're going to see Armstrong next week again as they host Park Center. So another game from this sub-district next week.
So 3rd and about 1.
Francis is in there as the running back this time.
See if they run behind their H-back or fullback over here on the wing here, Jay.
Breitbach's going to look to throw deep for Bowman. Underthrown, he tries to come back to it, and there's a flag down. As Hopkins bench does not like this one at all. Murph was there on the coverage. The ball was underthrown, and Bowman trying to come back to it. I don't know. It felt like a tough one to throw a flag on because he's, I don't know.
Yeah, certainly not a catchable ball.
The other thing is, the defensive player can't know that he's going to come back at him like that.
Right.
I don't know what else
Exactly.
he would be counted on to do there, but. So 15-yard penalty on the Royals. Not a spot foul, of course, like you'd see in the NFL, but still, let's take another look here. Yeah,
He did have
kind of get the hand on him, but
he did have the arm in. Yeah, that's a tough one for Hopkins.
and it'll be a big penalty into the Royals territory at the 45 now. First down, obviously, on that 15-yarder. So that one hurts. Could have possibly gone the other way. We don't see Coach Dan Hartog get too riled up that often, but he did not like that one.
No.
Back they go to Jones off the left side. He wraps him up and then gets help as they drive him back. It'll be about a 3, maybe 4-yard gain.
Right. Nice defense by Hopkins, front side on that one to keep Jones from picking up his usual 4 or 5 yards. See if Armstrong puts it up here at second and about 7, Jay.
Yeah, if you're Armstrong, you want to be balanced, but at the same time, they're knowing that anytime we have a look we like on Ty Bowman, we're probably going to go that way.
Right, exactly.
He is that good. Right box.
And
Going to throw
and
for him
he is.
here, and right on call. Touchdown.
Yeah.
Right back to Bowman.
Almost too easy, Jay. Almost too easy. I mean, just a pitch and catch. Ran a kind of a quick slant inside Murph, and yeah, he was gone.
And a beautifully thrown ball. Good protection as well.
Right.
I think he knew right when that ball was snapped what he where he wanted to go with it, and delivered a strike, and Bowman made it look easy.
He really did. Murph on an island by himself there, and no safety over the top. Yeah.
And that's what, here's a Bees coming up with the kick, and that's where guys with that kind of talent can be game changers, because probably in most situations Hopkins is comfortable, or relatively comfortable, with Murph covering somebody one-on-one, but
right.
Bowman is just that good.
He is. And Armstrong, when I was watching Breitbach drop back on that one, I mean, they weren't trying to fool anybody. He was coming that way all the way. His eyes were on Bowman right from the get-go.
So 27-3 Falcons here with 3:45 to go in this first half, as they'll kick it back here to the Royals.
I think what Hopkins has to be careful of here, I mean, they got 3:45, they got 3 timeouts. They just need to keep their daubers up and stay after it, and see if they can't, they got plenty of time and plenty of timeouts to get something before halftime.
Bees has really been kicking the ball, trying to pin them on the sideline. It's had mixed success. A couple of good returns. One went out of bounds, and then one stayed in and was a touchback. And they again kick it that way. And it's going to stay in the field, and Chacolas has to pick it up. And here he comes. Chacolas is one of those kind of guys that when you're kick covering there, a little doubt flashes through your mind. Do I really want to hit this guy when we're both coming at full speed? Because he's low to the ground and thick, but they're able to get him on the ground, and that's some pretty nice spin. You get the feeling that, sometimes you think in practice that, well, the kickers, they just go over and do their own thing, and nobody's really paying attention. But he's obviously worked on trying to keep that ball in bounds on a play like that.
I wonder if Bees is a golfer, because he seems to be able to stick that thing right in there and make it stay. That's a real talent.
Kim, a little hitch, and then throwing, and caught but out of bounds.
All right.
Nice effort there by Armstrong's Fernando Ayala, but it'll be an incompletion there as they were trying to get them to bite on that little hitch and get Roe Conde running in behind, but the ball a little overthrown and decent coverage anyway.
Yeah, tried a little bit of a shake and go on that one.
I think not a bad idea though in that spot. You really would like to break a big one here to kind of get things going and maybe get a chance to score before half. Kim, a one-handed catch of that snap again. He'll take off right away and run. And he is wrapped up a little shy of the 35, stayed in bounds, about a 4-yard pickup there.
You know, and even though the quarterback caught that, Jay, it still throws your timing off. It's still, offensive football is timing. And that's been probably 3 or 4 times that he's had that kind of a snap tonight. That makes it tough.
3rd and 6 here as we approach 3 minutes to play in the first half. Armstrong leading Hopkins 27-3.
And Hopkins should think down and distance here now. Move the chains. They don't need anything real long.
Kim throwing and not going to be enough for the first down. Well, let's see. Forward progress. It might be close. It might have it.
Gave him a pretty good spot there, I think.
Yeah,
Jay.
Conde with the catch.
Yeah, they may have it.
Yeah, I thought at first there was no way, but it looks like he is going to have enough for the first down.
Still 2 and change and still have those 3 timeouts. So I'm going to find number 1 here.
1st and 10 from the 40 now for Hopkins.
He's in the near slot here. Murph's in the near slot, Jay. There we go.
Fake the handoff. Kim rolling right, and he hits Murph.
Yeah.
And then knocked off his feet at about the 48. I think they're going to take a quick timeout. Yes, they did. So an 8-yard gain there.
Yeah, I like that. A little waggle action and get their quarterback on the move and kind of automatic pass protection for him, and he hits Murph.
One thing Armstrong did there was they were close enough to get contact on Murph before he was able to kind of turn and get his feet set like he has on so many of the other previous catches.
Right. Because he can be a shake and bake kind of guy if you get him one-on-one like that. This is an offensive coordinator's dream right here, Jay. 2nd and short. Yeah, we'll see what they come up with. We got Murph split out to Ars, the near side, in the slot. Are they going? Let's see, any trips here, or maybe a bunch? I'm not sure. Kind of a stacked trip situation.
2nd and a couple here for the Royals. Going to go on the ground and pick up the first down and more.
Right.
Dixon spinning his way down to the 36 of Armstrong. So about a 16-yard pickup. They crossed him up a little bit there.
And I was looking at the Armstrong secondary. They're basically in what we call quarters coverage. So they got 4 D-backs across the front, or across the back, I should say. And good call. They basically got 5 guys in the box, and they got 5 guys to block them.
Here's the throw, and was it held? Not quite. Almost intercepted there, as jumping the route was Ayala, and he had his shoulders squared in front of the receiver there, but was pressured. You see again a snap he had to reach for, and had it in his hands, but then wrapped up by the receiver there. Just not quite able to bring it in, as Jonathan Zell got a piece of it.
And Hopkins may have dodged the bullet there, Jay.
Gonna swing it out quick. Chacolas.
Okay.
Big time collision there as he gets to about the 30.
Yep. And so we got 3rd and about 3, 3rd and 4. Got the clock stopped. So nice little drive here by Hopkins.
3rd and 4 now for Hopkins.
Got Murph in the slot.
Tried to hand it to Dixon. The ball's loose. It is recovered by Kim, but it'll be 4th down as they again have some issues there with ball handling.
And the clock running.
Kim an alert play to get on that, but they didn't have good contact on that handoff. So that one, and they had another drive where it kind of was the same, where the big mistake on the snap forced them backward. Now we're going to see a timeout requested by Hopkins here. A minute 23 to go, and it is 4th down, so you got to get this play right.
You do.
You can see why they take the timeout there, although they possibly could have done it a little earlier.
Yes, exactly. I mean, let about 10 more seconds run off there. Yeah, and again, down in distance, I always used to preach that to my quarterbacks. Down in distance, they don't need the home run ball here. Just, kind of an intermediate pattern. And get the first down, move the sticks. Still got a timeout, a minute and change.
Yeah, time is still pretty good for them. I mean, considering where they are on the field. If they had 60 or 70 yards to go, you might say this is going to be tough to squeeze out. But in this, this distance, they still should have an opportunity to score if they do the right things.
Right. I'm a little bit surprised, Jay, that they don't raise up and just throw the hot screen to Murph a little bit more. They've got him in kind of a tight slot right here. But Armstrong's now they're splitting him out a little bit more.
4th and 6 after that loose ball recovered by Kim. Now Kim rolling to his right, throwing, and it is complete for the first down. Nice job right on the sideline as he finds Orbital there.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Move the sticks and get up there. They might have had 2 plays called as it is, and there we go. Now they got trips to this side with Murph in the slot again.
On the 19, going to go back to the ground, and Dixon, and that time it did not fool him. And now some time will tick away as they stop him right about the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
Right. Need to get up there and run a play.
Under a minute to go now in this first half. Hopkins down big, but would love to get on the board right before half. Here's Kim rolling left, throwing, and just a little too high for Murph.
So we got 3rd and 10, huh, Jay? And the clock does stop on the incomplete pass.
Yeah, that is the one good thing for them, is it allows them to regroup a little bit. I think if he had caught that ball, it looked like chances were he's going to get tackled pretty quickly, and I think you could make the case that the clock stopping is more important than if he had gained a yard or 2 there.
We'll see if this is 4 down or if they bring their field goal kicker out. With 27-3, I don't know.
3rd and 10 here for the Royals. Kim looking, but now in some trouble, and he is going to go down as he is sacked by Kevin Hoskins for Armstrong.
It's like Hopkins called their last time out, Jay.
Yeah, at that point, the clock in your head's kind of going off, and you gotta get rid of that or step up. He was trying to step up, but Hoskins able to get off his block and make the sack there for the Falcons.
Yeah, they didn't give him. He was looking downfield. I think they were trying to run, a little bit deeper routes with their 3 receiver side here, and just didn't give him a lot of pass protection on that one.
I think what you said, looks like maybe a little bit of an injury or maybe some heat illness there, possibly even for Kevin Hoskins. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His pregame snack coming up there a little bit, I think. They are going to bring Bees. No, I'm sorry. And keep Kim on, I'm saying.
Yeah, so they're coming trips here, and
Kim rolling to the left, throwing down the sideline for Murph, and it is incomplete. It looked like he was open, but he expected the ball over his other shoulder and tried to make an adjustment late and couldn't quite do it, so they'll turn the ball over on downs.
Kind of sailed on him a little bit, Jay. And yeah, he did have Murph did have him open.
Armstrong probably breathing a little sigh of relief, because when you looked up and that ball was in the air, oh, he's open there a little bit. But although there wasn't a huge window to stick that one in either.
No, it wasn't. And that's tough, you know, when you're on the move like that. Everything has to break right as a quarterback. You know, you kind of have to have your shoulders square and, you know, good footwork. It's tough.
Armstrong's up by 24. See if they'll just be content to hand it off and let the clock tick down. Yep, Jones will take the handoff, and he is going to pick up a nice gainer as he rips off a chunk of about 14 or so, and a first down for the Falcons.
Yeah.
That might change their thinking a little bit possibly here, though, with that nice gainer.
Well, it looked like it was. Yeah, they called timeout, right?
Yeah, they must have, so yeah.
Yeah, they look like they were in a kind of a go fast mode there, Jay. Like they were going to, okay, first down, let's go. We got the momentum. And then they just thought better of it and call the timeout and talk about it.
Seconds remaining in the first half, and I invite you to stick around for halftime. We've got a couple little blasts from the past for you from these respective football programs. A couple of guys who are in our CCX Sports Hall of Fame. I'm going to look at the stories that we did on them when they were inducted. So one from each team, actually, from the football days past for Armstrong and Hopkins. So stick around for that coming up at halftime here. First down and 10 from the 39-yard line for Armstrong. Breitbach looking to the sideline here.
2-by-2 formation on this. Give the ball to Jones again, huh?
And this time he is wrapped up. Nice tackle there by Chacolas. Picks up about 4, and it doesn't look like they're going to be. This is kind of what I thought. Particularly when you have this lead and you also have a quarterback who's just coming back off injury. You think, you know what, we'll be satisfied with this lead heading into halftime. So a very good first half for Armstrong. After an impressive outing and beating Spring Lake Park a week ago, they have come out and built a 27-3 lead at halftime of this one here at Hopkins. As we go to break, looking at some of the first half highlights, we'll come back with more here on CCX Sports.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Hopkins. Armstrong leading Hopkins 27-3, and as we said, we've got a couple of Hall of Famers in our CCX Hall of Fame from the respective football programs here tonight, and we are going to start with a guy who is a quarterback for Armstrong. He's now a well-known high school football coach. Let's take a look at the Hall of Fame induction from Darren Lampker.
Olson, then back to Lampker, drives for 2 more.
He was a 3-sport standout at Armstrong and is now a successful football coach at Osseo. We welcome 1993 Armstrong graduate Darren Lampker into our 12 Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, it was a really great honor. It's something you really don't think about because your high school days are behind you once you get into a job and a career and have kids. But to have that opportunity to be with a lot of these other great athletes that have come through and been Hall of Famers at Cable 12, it's a really great honor.
Lampker excelled in football, basketball, and baseball for the Falcons. Sometimes it's hard to believe that it's been 20-plus years since those days.
Well, if you see a little video and some stuff like that, you think about it and you think back to the family and the friends that you're all around, and it doesn't seem that long ago sometimes. Hopefully I can always feel that way. I think it helps for me because I'm around those high school kids every day. We won some games in football, and they were pretty bad for a while in football. And my senior year, we actually won 3 or 4 games, or I think so, something like that. That was a standout. Basketball was a lot of fun, just because we were highly competitive and we were a ranked team. And we never made a state tournament, but we made the section final numerous times and won the conference.
Though he was good at both, Darren was more known for his basketball talents than football in high school. He was a 2-time all-conference pick, all-state choice, and Mr. Basketball finalist on some very good Falcons teams. He was chosen for the Minnesota All-Star game in both sports, but bypassed the football game.
I had probably my most success in basketball as an individual and as a team.
3 sports standouts have become rare. Lamker says even in the early 90s, there was some pressure to specialize.
There was pressure back in the day. You know, the basketball coach wanted his thing, and the football coach wanted their thing, and I knew that I wanted to play 3 sports, and I needed to do it just because I'd be bored if I wasn't doing something after school every single day. And it makes you a better, well-rounded person.
Darren pulled off the rare feat of playing 3 sports in college, too, at Augsburg. There, football took over.
But I never thought football was going to be my thing when I was in high school. I went to college to play basketball, and the last 2 weeks before football started, the football coach talked me into it and said, hey, you know what, I'd love to have you. And I just figured out in college, and college kind of worked its way out with me, was a 6'2" guy that doesn't jump too well. He's got a decent brain, but not the most athletic. Football's probably just a little better sport for him, and that's what ended up working out.
From humble beginnings as a college player, quarterback Lamker led a revival for Augsburg football. He shattered most of the school passing records, earned All-American honors, and led the Augies to the MIAC title and NCAA playoffs as a senior.
Commanding leadership and one of the most competitive young men I've ever coached in my life. I mean, competition, the competitiveness and the leadership was phenomenal. We won because we didn't have the greatest talent in the league that year, but doggone it, we had the best kids that led well and played hard.
We didn't start out well at Augsburg. We had some losing records the first couple of years, and then my junior and senior year, my junior year we actually had a losing record also, and then we went to the senior year and we won the conference and went to the national playoffs for like the first time in 69 years at Augsburg, and just to have that success and see the momentum it created.
Lamker coached as an assistant at Armstrong and Augsburg, and as offensive coordinator helped Armstrong to a great run to state in 2003.
We got to the Final Four at the Dome, and to be back at your alma mater, that was really cool. I was back there, and I was teaching there, and so I saw these kids in the hall every day, and same thing. They didn't have much success, and then we had a 2-year run there where we won the conference twice, and we went to the Dome, and we just had a lot of fun there. So that was great.
Lamker took the head football coaching job at Osseo in 2005 and has brought the Orioles back to prominence. He's been named Northwest Suburban Conference Coach of the Year 3 times. He says the blue-collar underdog mentality he had at Augsburg is carried over to Osseo.
There's a big group from Brooklyn Park and from Osseo and from Maple Grove. And some of these kids don't have much, but when they're at school, they all seem to be together as one. They feel like they fit somewhere. And that's the really neat thing that they have there. And the small town's been great. I mean, having that main street, you go to Holiday and get a pop, and literally you see most of the people, hey, how you doing, blah, 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 and you have a good time talking with that. And that's a really cool thing that most, like you said, suburbs don't have that.
Some of the same traits that Darren Lamker showed as a player at Armstrong and Augsburg have made him a very good coach and a Hall of Famer. Darren Lamker, a great one for Armstrong, and of course he led Osseo then to a state championship, and he is now the head coach at Edina. Ironically enough, we'll see him Friday night on CCX as he faces Wayzata. We'll take a timeout, come back with more of our halftime. Armstrong leading Hopkins 27-3.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back. A pretty good student contingent made the way from Armstrong. They must have been happy with that first week win as well, as they've come down 169 here to Hopkins High School. 27-3 Falcons at halftime. We met a Hall of Famer who used to play football for Armstrong a moment ago, and a great running back from Hopkins who went on to star on the defensive side of the ball for the Golden Gophers, and then in the NFL is up next. Let's look at our Hall of Fame induction from a few years back with Mike Lehan.
Gives to Lehan.
He was a great high school football player who reached the highest level in his sport. 1998 Hopkins graduate Michael Lehan joins our 12 Sports Hall of Fame.
I was honored. I didn't know if I was still relevant to anything anymore. So honestly, Jay, you and I go back many, many years. And I remember speaking with you when I was at Hopkins. So just the honor and just the thoughtfulness to even consider me for the Hall of Fame for Channel 12 is truly an honor.
Lehan was a star running back for the Royals, combining great speed with shiftiness and some grit. He was not the kid who grew up playing the sport from Pee-wees on.
You know, it's funny because I didn't start playing football until I was in 9th grade. I wanted something to do to stay out of trouble. I wasn't into a whole lot of mischief, but football really just showed up because a lot of my friends played football.
Mike was an all-state pick as a senior and rushed for just under 1,500 yards. He also led the Classic Lake in rushing as a junior. Football wasn't his only sport, though.
I have tremendous memories on the football field, on the track. The one year that I wrestled at Hopkins, it really grew me into a young man at that time. It's a very humbling sport, but Hopkins, I have so much affinity for not only the people there and the educational opportunities, but also the support that they provided me.
In track, Lehan placed 5th in the state meet in the 100 meters and long jump as a senior. His football skill led to a scholarship from the Gophers, where a position change in college was a shocker at first.
Yeah, I was recruited as a running back. After my redshirt freshman year, they said, hey, you know what, why don't you consider playing defensive back? I switched over to defensive back, never playing a snap of defense in my life, and it worked out. Obviously, the coaches knew better than I did.
It turned out pretty well for him. Lehan started for 3.5 seasons as a defensive back for the Gophers and was selected as a captain in his senior season. To his surprise, Michael zoomed up the NFL draft rankings.
And then Mel Kiper did his report, and I was ranked the 5th best senior corner in the country. I said, wow, this could be a real thing. And again, as I went, football was something that I started in high school just to stay out of trouble. And that turned into a scholarship at the University of Minnesota. I went to the University of Minnesota saying, hey, this is a great opportunity to get a college degree that I don't have to pay for. And then it became, wow, this could actually be a career.
He was a 5th-round pick by the Cleveland Browns and played 3 seasons there, followed by 3 with the Miami Dolphins.
In my time in Miami was, you have Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor, some of the best, Hall of Famers, soon to be folks in the locker room. That's tremendous as well. It was a really great experience. Playing professional football is hard work. It is hard work.
While he enjoyed his NFL stint, he knew when it was time to get out.
I knew that with a dislocated ankle and 4 knee surgeries, a broken nose, shoulder surgery, that my body was getting beat up. And at that time I was 28 years old, 29 years old, and I figured, gosh, you know what, there's got to be more to this. Although I'm the principal, it's important to...
After hanging up his football cleats, Lehan knew he wanted to work with young people and found his way into the world of education. He's now in his 2nd year as head principal at Osseo High School and loving it.
Now I have the great opportunity to work with young people, work with teachers, work with the community, work with my assistant superintendents and superintendent of the school district to make sure that we are providing meaningful opportunities for the young scholars that come to my building and then come to our district as a whole.
And Hall of Famer Michael Lehan reflects back on his childhood and school days when he's on the job now.
I think about high school sports, and high school sports was certainly a contributing component to being a leader that I am today, but I also think about my upbringing, being in foster care, multiple placements, being adopted, some of this adversity that I faced as a young person. So then when I hit the football field and I began playing more sports, that it was a natural progression when adversity came to me.
Great player and a great guy, Michael Lehan, the principal now at Osseo High School, and I noted that last highlight of his on that story was against Armstrong, too, scoring a touchdown. Royals could use a few of those tonight, though. They're trailing at 27-3. We will be back with our first half highlights, and then the second half of football is up next on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Hopkins High School Alumni Night. Some old past football players being introduced to the crowd here at halftime, but the Royals have got their work cut out for them in the second half. A strong first half for Armstrong as we check out some highlights from the opening half of play, and certainly turnovers were a part of things here as they put the ball on the ground right there and squirted away and recovered by Armstrong, and that sets up a touchdown here as Breitbach first throwing it out to Lewis. He doesn't quite get in here, forced out of bounds, but then they go up top to Ty Bowman, a 4-yard scoring pass there for the Falcons as they took a 7-0 lead. And then Breitbach throwing deep down the sideline here. Bowman with the catch, Murph able to wrestle him down, but it sets up another score. This one coming from Jones as Breitbach flips it out and he's able to get in for the score. The extra point that time no good. And it was 13-0. And another turnover, unfortunately for Hopkins, cost them. Francis forced it, recovered there by Sherwood, and then Breitbach handing it off to Jones. Makes a nice move down the sideline here before he's wrestled out. And then he finishes the drive, gets a good kick-out block there and walks in easily. So it's 20-0 Falcons after one quarter. Hopkins got a little something going, though, as they get the connection here. Weaving his way back across field through traffic is Condi. And a nice gainer there, and ultimately led to a field goal, which was good by Joe Beyer, the junior, banging that one through from 30 yards out. But Armstrong comes back. A possibly questionable interference call helped them on the drive as Bowman, they went for him there. And then this one was a thing of beauty as Bowman able to get a step on the defender across the middle. Breitbach put it right on his numbers, 42 yards for the touchdown, and a 27-3 lead as you look at the halftime stats here, certainly favoring the Falcons. I think the turnovers and the points off as big a number as any you'll see there, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's the cliche, but turnovers Armstrong loves them tonight, and of course Hopkins, it's the sort of the kiss of death. You can certainly see why Ty Bowman, though, is a preseason All-Metro. He is a playmaker. He is a playmaker. I also like the fact I think Caleb Jones doesn't mind the role of featured back either, as you kind of alluded to that. And he's been a really good change-up, I think, tonight for Armstrong.
All right, we'll see if Hopkins can battle her way back into this one. We'll take a timeout and then kick off the third quarter here on CCX Sports.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps!
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me. your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Pretty solid first half for the guys in white. Armstrong, and they'll get the football to begin the second half as they lead at 27-3. And now there's a time, I think, though, where you might remind your team, you know, A, this one's not over yet, and B, you know, as many things as went well for us, we can't count on that just happening again without working for it here in the second half.
Right, exactly. And you know, it's the ball's shaped funny, and it does bounce. It does bounce your way sometimes, and hopefully Hopkins can just. Obviously, their D is going to be out there to start the second half, and you know, they just dig down and you know, get a 3 and out, get off the field, and get their offense on there and get it cranked up a little bit.
Yeah, it's really been. I don't want to say like, oh, they, you know, make it seem like Hopkins has played right with them the whole time, because they really haven't. But you take away a few just key mistake plays, not just the 2 fumbles they lost, but also the snap that took them out of range for when it looked like they might score a touchdown, things like that. If you can erase those, they certainly have a better chance to get back in this one. Barrett will return it from about the 6-yard line here for Armstrong, trying to get to the outside and forced out of bounds there out near the 30. Looks like they'll spot him around the 25-yard line. So first down and 10 for Jake Breitbach and company, and a very good first half for Breitbach as he wound up 9 for 11 through the air. And again, Breitbach just coming back off a serious knee injury, a torn ACL in the basketball season about 6 months ago. And Armstrong pleasantly surprised that he was ready to go at the start of this 2019 season.
Exactly. And I actually think they with Jones the first half, I think they probably ran the ball a little bit more than maybe they thought they could. As I said, he's been kind of a good change up for them and made some tough yards.
Jones with the carry there, tackled by Bryant after a pickup of 3. That's been kind of a key, too, for Armstrong, is even when they have runs that haven't been really popped open, they're still getting about 3-ish, and that you can do business with that.
Looks like, too, that offensive coordinator Potts, as he told us, if he felt like, if he sensed that the defense was getting gassed, he would start going fast a little bit.
Breitbach in trouble, throws. Ooh, this might be at least thought about being intentional grounding, and now the flag does come in from way back.
Way back in center field there.
This ball was not anywhere near a receiver. I mean, yeah, there was one in sort of in that direction, but he didn't get it close to him in any way, shape, or form.
I'm not sure he was outside the tackle when he threw it either, Jay.
I think it is going to be intentional grounding. We had one earlier that the flag was thrown but then picked up.
Yeah.
Loss of down, of course, as well.
Right. So this is kind of just what the doctor ordered for Hopkins. See if they can keep him going that direction and get themselves some good field position.
Breitbach did the right thing throwing the ball away. The problem was it just, you know, he couldn't make it look good enough that there was anybody close to it.
Right. There wasn't really anybody in the neighborhood there.
And he was backpedaling, so he couldn't get a lot of iron on the ball to really get it, you know, to throw it out of bounds or down the field farther.
Now, is this Bowman split out to our side here, Jay? Maybe it is. Not sure. There's a single receiver down here at the bottom. And they've got Murph on him again, but they got safety help over the top this time. They got kind of a cover 2 look.
And throw it out to the left, and a quick sure tackle as Barrett does make the catch, but it'll bring up 4th and long here for Armstrong. A punting situation coming up. So nicely defended there by Hopkins. And Armstrong, I think in that spot, you know, you're tempted to try and make a big play, but it would be even worse if you make a big mistake in that spot.
Right, exactly. So Hopkins D does their job. We'll see. I think they would probably like Murph to get his hands on this punt.
B's getting it out of there quick. It's a low knuckler. And it's going to take a nice bounce for Armstrong into Hopkins territory down to about the 47-yard line. So a 33-yard kick and no return.
Right.
Returners, neither punter has gotten the ball very deep, so the return guys have, it's been tough to judge, how far back you obviously
right.
want one kick over your head. But
right, and they've been kind of knuckling around, and in that case, I think it even hit the Armstrong guy. Then he had to jump on it.
Yeah, looks like you're right. They spotted it back about 3 yards from where he actually downed it because he had already made contact with it. So good eye by the officials there. And so it'll be just about at midfield here for Hopkins. And excellent field position, as you said. They get what they needed to get done there defensively, force a quick punt.
All right. And the old adage, there is plenty of football left here. They don't really have to go away from their game plan. Start moving the sticks again, get some first downs.
And another snap that gets away here. Kim will pick it up, but now he throws late and gets the completion. Wow. Looked like he was just going to try and run. Instead, he was able to find Conde for about 9.
It was a nice heady play, Jay. He kept his eyes downfield, kept himself behind the sticks.
I was kind of looking around to see if there were any linemen downfield, but apparently not, because on a play like that, you can certainly understand how that would have happened.
Right.
And they hand it off to Dixon. He'll get the first down, and he breaks through down to about the 32-yard line. Give them 9 more as the Royals, again, had some times in the first half where they were putting some things together a little bit.
Yep.
Dixon had a 12-yard run and a 16-yard run in the first half, but they just haven't had the volume in part because the turnovers ultimately cost them.
Nice power running formation. That time they kept their O-line and then the 2 backs in the backfield and really blew open a hole for Dixon.
Kim will step up. Francis wraps him up from behind here. Will not be a sack. It'll be a short gain actually for Kim on the play. Hoskins, I believe, on the tackle there. I'm sorry, not to. So about a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, so we got 2nd and long here.
Hands it to Dixon, bouncing it to the edge here. Dixon, a cut and a spin. And he is brought down, looks like just short of the first down.
Just a little bit shy. Did a nice job of getting the edge, though, Jay, and showed some nice speed on the edge there and nearly got that first down.
Yeah, he's a pretty good-sized high school back at about 6'1", 180.
Yeah.
3rd and 1 coming up here for the Royals. Back they go to Dixon. He'll have the first down, keeps the legs driving, and finally spun down to the ground there by Cade Kemple for Armstrong.
The other thing I like what Hopkins is doing here, Jay, is they're not, there's no panic button. There's no panic here. They're just, sticking with their game plan. Right now, the run's working. They kind of got them outnumbered up front. And this, of course, could set up a play action here. Possibility.
Handing it off here to Patton. Patton fighting toward the end zone. He reaches the ball out. He's in for the touchdown. Demetrius Patton powering his way in from 16 yards out, and we said this one is far from over. Early in the second half, the Royals get their first touchdown. Oh, we've got a flag down. Maybe not so sure that this one will stand. Let's see.
See what the call is here. Offsetting.
He didn't make a signal. I'm assuming the touchdown still is good, though.
Yeah, I'm not. I think they're going to go for 2 here, Jay. Huh? Yeah, so the touchdown stands, looks like. Okay. It's kind of that power running formation again from Hopkins.
They'll hand it off to Dracolas, and he goes in.
Hopkins has some real hard running. Their running backs run real hard. Patton was not going to be denied on that touchdown run, that's for sure.
Well, I believe that was a touchdown right there. Very confusing.
Oh, okay.
No, maybe not. Looks like that was the 2 point.
That was the 2 point, yeah. So we should be 11. Yep.
I have to be honest, everybody up here, the scoreboard operator and us, they did not make any clear signal that touchdown should stand. I thought it would, but the referee did not. After he called the penalties, he did not raise his arms again.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
Apparently, we're just supposed to know.
Well, now we got a little different look here. We got a little different ball game, and we'll see if Hopkins D can stand up again. Sometimes, you know, when you get a little bit of a lead like Armstrong has or had, and then you, I'm not saying they're slacking off, but if you, you know, the other team gets a little momentum or whatever, and sometimes it's difficult to kind of get rolling again.
So Hopkins doing exactly what they wanted to do to begin this half. They get a quick stop, and then they move the ball down the field nicely and are able to punch it in as Patton fights his way in, then get the 2 point conversion. So a change of complexion in a hurry here. 27-11 now in favor of Armstrong. Barrett will take it on the 10. Barrett getting a little gap. Ooh, and then a big-time collision there as he is brought down at about the 33-yard line. So now we'll see if Armstrong can get themselves going again here. Yeah, sometimes you almost wish that the halftime hadn't come if you're the team that's really had a really strong first half like that.
Right, right. You just want to stay hot, keep the momentum going. We'll see how Armstrong comes out here. See if they stay on the ground or if they let the right back put it up. We got Bowman on the slot on this side. And Hopkins is like I said before, now has a cover 2, so the corners have safety help over the top on Bowman.
Fakes the handoff. Breitbach rolling to his right, flipping to the short man, and that one is complete. As Armand Walker with the reception. Good sized tight end, 6'3", 238.
Definitely looks like a tight end, Jay. Yeah. Brought him across the formation, and Breitbach found him.
Nice job to check that one down. He was looking downfield, you know, to the next level, obviously, but when it wasn't there, that's you don't mind a 6-yard gain on first down, that's for sure.
Right.
Gonna go with the handoff. Jones picking his way through, and he is into Hopkins territory and will have the first down and more after a pickup of about 8. Nicely blocked up front here by, it was one of the things they were pretty comfortable with. When you have 4 returning starters and you felt like you had a pretty decent line, last year, you're going to be confident. Jackson Drack on the stop there for the Royals.
And one of the most underrated qualities, I think, of running backs, Jay, is their eyesight. And he, you can see he had his head up, and he, as you said, picking his way, and just really did a nice job of seeing the hole and getting through it.
And things move a lot faster when you're in the middle of a pack like that too. From up here sometimes you can see, and that one's going to go nowhere. Sometimes you can see the hole relatively easy from up here, whereas when you're down there, it's a whole different thing.
Whole different thing, yeah. And the game's moving a lot faster down there.
And the guys seem a lot bigger than they maybe look on TV. Jones that time stacked up for a loss of 1. We just praised him there, but at the same time, if they don't block, you're not going to go anywhere either. You
exactly.
Rely on those big guys up front. 2nd and 11 now for Breitbach and company. Breitbach pulls it back, looking to throwing for Bowman, and looks like he's got it. Just in bounds there.
Kept that right foot in, I think, Jay. Did an unbelievably great job.
Be a 17-yard gain as we watch Bowman's route all the way here. See, does he get this foot in?
It's the right foot, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And, of course, you just need 1 foot in.
That's right. That's right.
Looked like the right call there, and a nice look. Guys in the truck there, too, giving us Bowman running that route. He knew he was running out of space and just tried to make sure that 1 foot stayed planted, and they got it in there. That's a pretty high-level completion, too, for a quarterback. I mean, there wasn't a ton of room to get that one in.
No. Little side pocket shot there by Breitbach. See if they go back to Jones again.
Jones does take the handoff here, but he is mad, and Ani wraps him up and throws him down. And it'll be a short loss on the play. Well, let's see, maybe back. Did get back to the line of scrimmage or so here, but you see Ani coming through, and he was not about to let him get away there.
And Ani's a sophomore, isn't he, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice job.
And a good future ahead of him. Playing well already here. 2nd down and 10 as we've passed the halfway point of the 3rd quarter. Armstrong leading 27-11 as Hopkins scored a touchdown and 2-point conversion here to start this 3rd quarter. Back they go on the ground to Jones. And Jones advancing it just inside the 30-yard line. Ani another stop there.
I'm kind of waiting for the time that they give it to Bowman on that jet sweep, Jay. They've done it probably 3 or 4 times tonight, and they always give it back to Jones, using Bowman as a little bit of a decoy, and he's a pretty good decoy.
3rd and 6 now for Armstrong. And we get a flag down. Breitbach says the Royals into the neutral zone here. See if they were drawn or not. Don't think it'll quite be enough for a first down, though, if it is indeed on Hopkins, which it looks like it is.
And Breitbach tonight has been numerous times has tried to use his voice and trying to draw them offside. Kind of what we used to call the freeze play. And as a D lineman, you got to watch the ball.
So 3rd and 1 now for the Falcons.
Trips to the far side.
Gonna throw over the middle into some traffic and knocked away. Barrett looks like he might be shaken up. And Breitbach was dumped as well as he threw that one, and Barrett is slow to get up.
Yeah.
That one looked like it hurt.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's gonna maybe stay down.
Hopkins came aggressively there after Breitbach, and there you see Ani's shoulder kind of into the midsection, it looked like. or possibly slightly below the midsection.
A little south of the midsection.
Bring up a 4th and 1 for Armstrong after they tend to bear it here. I think they maybe thought that they were going to catch Hopkins, expecting, you know, just a short yardage plunge and maybe we'd strike big on it. And instead, Hopkins came aggressively with pressure. And Armstrong probably fortunate that that one ended up being incomplete instead of picked off.
I kind of like the call. You know, as you said, probably everyone in the house is looking for Jones to get the ball again and pick up the first down on 3rd and short. But sort of floated it out there, though.
Well, remember to vote for the CCX Sports Play of the Week. We have 4 top plays for you each week, and you, the viewers, get to decide the winner. To vote, go to ccxmedia.org and then click Sports and Play of the Week. And the Sports Play of the Week is brought to you by Chick-fil-A in Maple Grove. As Barrett making his way over to the sideline.
Saw Coach Nagin working. I think it was the side judge over there. I'm not sure what he was talking to him about there, Jay, but he seemed a little hot about something.
Bowman in as the quarterback, and he is going to run this one and pick up the first down. Oh, well, let's see. The ball came out, but it looks like he must have been down. Coach Potts, the offensive coordinator, did tell us if we get in the spot where it's a quarterback run, it's going to be Ty doing it, not Breitbach.
Yep.
And he did have 2 rushing touchdowns last week. So from the 21-yard line, 1st and 10, as Breitbach is back on the field. Bowman back to the receiver spot.
Armstrong running quite a bit of clock here too, Jay, in this drive.
Yeah, it's been a nice answer for them after Hopkins got that touchdown. Jones trying to stretch it to the outside, but again, Ani coming up big for a stop there for the Royals. Yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously for Armstrong, ultimately they want points out of this, but I think they've succeeded in A, taking some time off, and B, slowing Hopkins' momentum a little bit.
They have. There's that same jet action again. That time they're pinballing Bowman a little bit. A couple of free shots at Bowman that time.
And it looks like Jones has got a helmet issue. I thought for a moment Breitbach was going to call a timeout, but it looks like now maybe they will. Yeah, they were just taking a long time, in part, I think, because of Jones' helmet issue. And I think Breitbach was hoping the official would step in and you know, call an official timeout to help him with the helmet.
The equipment.
But when it didn't happen, then they kind of had to go.
Right, right.
At that point, probably better to just go ahead and take the timeout.
Exactly.
Well, we got plenty more football to come this season, of course, and next Friday, as we said, we'll be seeing these same Falcons again as they host Park Center. And then following that, though, they got a couple of road games, and there could be a couple of pretty tough ones at Chaska and then at Irondale for the Falcons. And then for Hopkins, their schedule kind of quirked this year. They 3 of their first 4 on the road. They got this one at home, obviously, and then the next couple of weeks at Forest Lake and at Chanhassen before hosting Spring Lake Park in the last game of September. So be interesting season for both these teams here, and Hopkins, as to like the way they've come out in the second half, you know, we'll see if it's enough to get them all the way back in this one. And Armstrong trying to keep this drive going here.
Right.
With a 2nd down and 10. Breitbach will hand it off to Jones. And stacked up a little shy of the 20 there, so not much movement.
Right, and they seem just fine with again melting a little bit of clock here. I'm not saying they're going totally conservative, but they're just fine with melting a little bit of clock. This is where, if you're Hopkins, boy, you would just love to get a turnover right here, Jay.
Or a sack at least. Here's Breitbach with time to throw, now firing over the middle, but way short. Looked for Bowman there. Looked like he almost wanted to pull that one back. Probably a good thing because he was well covered there. There was very little chance to get that one in.
Right.
Looks like Murph might be having a little bit of cramping issues. We saw him patting his helmet saying he wanted to come out, and it looked like he was hobbling. Armstrong is going to go for it here on 4th and 9.
Yeah, they don't really have the kicking game that Hopkins has in terms of place kicking or field goal kicking. So why not?
Yeah, I think on this spot on the field, it's not too tough a choice, certainly. Breitbach will throw here. Oh, and just knocked away as Caden College had it punched out of there as Kane Madison got his hand in. It was a pretty well thrown ball.
It was.
And it looked like it was about to be a completion. And so they'll turn it over on downs. Armstrong moves the ball nicely, chews up some time, but they end up not able to convert on that 4th down play.
Actually, College, I think, kind of let it get into his pads or into his body there a little bit, Jay, and it bounced around, but probably should have corralled that one.
1st and 10 Royals. See if they can pick up where they left off last time. Keep it on the ground here, and Dixon will pick up 3 or 4.
Yep, and that's fine. I mean, it's still, you know, we still have 2 and change or 2 minutes, and then all of the 4th quarter. Just kind of have to be selective and use their run game and change it up a little bit. Going to trips this time, Jay, at the top of the screen.
Kim looking out that way, throws complete. And they're able to drag Condi down. He'll be short of the 1st down, about a 4-yard gain. His 4th reception of the night. Bring up 3rd and 2 here as we tick down toward 1:15 to go in this 3rd quarter. Hopkins trailing 27-11. And looks like they will pick up enough for the 1st down as Dixon spun forward.
That time Hopkins went a little bit of a go fast snap, I think, and maybe caught Armstrong a little bit off guard. Their defense wasn't set.
You can see overrun a little bit there as Barnes was trying to come in and make or Hoskins rather, trying to make a big play, but overran it just a touch. So 1st down Royals from the 32. A little reverse action, but the ball on the turf and a scramble for it. And Armstrong will have another fumble recovery. As recovered by Kevin Hoskins as they went with the reverse and didn't get the second exchange handled clean, and Hoskins is there to dive on it.
Oh, yeah. What a drive killer. Yeah, that's too bad for Hopkins.
Patton, a little flip, and Murph just didn't squeeze it. And then, to make matters worse, it bounced off his stomach and toward the line of scrimmage. And Hoskins didn't miss. He was the first guy there, and sometimes those guys don't wind up with it, but he was able to scoop it.
And Armstrong's shown the ability to kind of, even in those first couple turnovers, the ball squirts out, and they're ball hawks. I mean, they're right on it. It looked to me like Murph took his eyes off of it just slightly there, Jay.
Yeah, I think you're right. Jones taking the handoff here. And wrapped up Ani in on the stop there for the Royals, but he will pick up some positive yardage here as we tick down toward the end of the 3rd quarter. About a 3-yard gain. Boy, Jones has carried it 20 times tonight. He's going to probably sleep well as he is, you know, probably listed 3rd on their depth chart coming in, but the first 2 guys are injured, so it's next man up, and he's had a good night.
He has. He really has. He's been a really good changeup for him. We're going back to him again.
Pays the price this time as 3 Royals got there. Patton and got some help as well from Martins, but
and we're into the 4th quarter.
Third quarter comes to an end. It was a good one for Hopkins, although Armstrong still maintains the lead, and they have the ball deep in Hopkins territory. We've completed 3. It's 27-11 Armstrong here on CCX. Armstrong had a dominant first half. Hopkins getting the only touchdown of the third quarter. And after stopping Armstrong, though, they just turned the ball over for the third time tonight. Armstrong has it 3rd down and 7 from the Royals' 24. Hopkins really needing a stop here. I think another touchdown probably would put it out of reach at this point, but they've shown an ability to make some stops here. Breitbach firing and incomplete. Tried to go to Bowman.
Yeah, just off the mark that time. And again, this, I think I've said it before, the slant's tough. The slant can be a tough one to hit on. Takes a lot of reps. He did have good pass protection though, Jay. He had plenty of time.
4th and 7, and obviously they'll be going for it here again in a similar spot to where they were at the other end of the field just late in that third quarter. So key defensive down here for Hopkins. Breitbach in trouble, rolling out to his right and throwing, and they get the completion. Wow, Barrett with the catch, and it looks like he should have enough for the first down. He was right over near the marker.
I think he nudged right over it, and great job by Breitbach to extend this play.
Looked like he was going to get sacked, and he put it right on the money. And there you see Barrett just reaching it over that where the yard marker was. So first down now for Armstrong. And not only, do they get the first down and a chance to score, they now can use up some more of the clock as well.
Exactly. Yep.
And Bowman, the quarterback this time, and not much doing there, faked the handoff and then just kept it. And they will be fortunate if he gets back to the line on that one.
Bowman, of course, is the premier receiver, but they've got Armstrong has got a real nice cauldron of receivers. They with Lewis and College and Barrett, they do a nice job. They've made some key catches tonight.
Breitbach coming back in now. Fakes the handoff. Breitbach rolling to his right, throws, and it is complete as he has Bowman again inside the 5 to about the 3. And it'll be first down goal to go. Boy, that combination has been dynamite here tonight.
It really has, and a lot of times that very same kind of, kind of a speed out, situation, really tough to defend.
Breitbach looked like he kind of threw off the wrong foot a little bit there. He realized, I want to get rid of this quick. He's just coming out of his break. So first and goal, they'll spot it on the 4-yard line. Breitbach looking to the bench here as they want to run through this play again.
They got Barrett as a single receiver to the near side over here, Jay. See if they...
Breitbach's going to go back to the play that got him a touchdown earlier, and they'll score again as Jones walks on in.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to see that again. I think Barrett, I'm not sure if he throws a nice little block here or maybe just by him going inside kind of drew the defender with him. Well, they sure have made money on that little flip, haven't they?
Well, I'll say that's a nice one to have in your pocket when you get down inside the 5 like that. Sometimes with a short field, it's you run out of creative options, but not those 2 times. Flag down here.
Let's see what the call is here.
A 5-yard penalty. They'll have to retry here. He's looking to boot it through.
He punched that one through, Mister.
So he had 1 miss earlier, but he's made the rest, and it's 34-11 now in favor of Armstrong. As you get another look at this touchdown.
Oh yeah, look at Barrett. Yeah, he not only gets the one guy, but then he goes off of him and gets the other fella. Yeah.
Receivers coach will be giving him a little pat for that one, right?
He will. Yeah, he will. Yeah. And maybe Caleb Jones buys him a milkshake too. That's a nice job.
So Hopkins will get the football back, but you have to wonder now if that one might have been kind of the nail in the coffin a little bit.
Yeah. Life just got real difficult for Hopkins. We'll see what they're made of here. There's that ground ball kick again.
Chicola's fielding it, and he again finishes strong out over the 35 to the 38 or so. Well, obviously we have a lot of most of the games are on Friday night this week, and Brooklyn Center will be at home. Champlin Park as well. Edina at Wayzata is our second football game telecast this week. Maple Grove goes to Totino Grace. Osseo traveling down to Farmington. Park Center hosts Holy Angels. Cooper is on the road at Oronos. They try to bounce back from that opening loss. Providence Academy lost their first game last week as well. Benilde hosting De La Salle, and Breck's at home against Edison. Here's a pass, and nearly intercepted. Stepping up to make the play was Jack Major for Armstrong, and he had visions of grabbing that one himself.
A lot of green in front of him there, Jay. Yeah.
I'll tell you though, he did the right thing by, putting that left hand in there. He wasn't going to be able to reach it very well with his right hand. Right. So, obviously you prefer, if you could, to catch it or grab it with both hands, but he did the right technique there and raking it out with the left. 2nd and 10 now from the 38. Pass was deflected. Getting a piece of that one in the backfield was Cade Kempler, who's made some plays tonight for Armstrong. So it'll bring up a 3rd down, and looks like we've got some cramps probably here for Hopkins, Jimmy Murphy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Jay. Plus, this is a tough situation now for Hopkins because this is the old classic. Armstrong can sort of pin their ears back, and with this kind of a deficit on the scoreboard, and Hopkins is almost in a pass-heavy situation.
Well, we're deep into the high school sports season now, and some more good game action coming up for you here as we've got football Friday night. Wayzata hosting Edina, and then next week some soccer action with Park Center hosting Champlin Park in girls and boys action, and then Armstrong hosting Osseo. And then our football game, as we said, will be at Armstrong next week as they take on the Park Center Pirates.
That should be a good battle. Edina at Wayzata. Should be a good battle. Lambert Brown might have one of his better teams.
Yeah, they looked very good last week against Blaine.
They did.
And there's another snap that gets away, and Kim fielded it on a knee, so he is down right there at the 25. And those have certainly hurt the Royals a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, it's really tough when you can't get the exchange, which is the foundation of your offense, fundamental of your offense. It's hard, very difficult. They're gonna have to get that one solved, Jay.
Condi back to punt here for the Royals. High kick, and it gets away. Bowman circling back, picks it up. Now trying to head back the other direction. Here comes Ty Bowman. Has a wall with him as well. A little high step juke, cuts to the middle of the field, and he's going to go, but is there a flag back at midfield? It looks like it.
There is a flag. That was some effort, though.
Armstrong clears the punt. There's a flag on the field.
Well, and you certainly have to expect in this spot, normally going to be on the return team, but we'll see.
Right.
Boy, it was a great effort by him. And sometimes that happens when a ball gets bobbled on a play like that. Everybody gets so far downfield that if you break through, then all of a sudden you've got space.
Right. People get out of their lanes, and there's no lane integrity anymore. And and that plus the athleticism of Bowman he's shown some incredible moves tonight.
So wipe out that return.
Okay.
I think he said excessive contact. Did we really reach that point in football where it's a penalty to hit too hard?
Is that what I didn't catch that?
That's the term he used.
Okay. I know I heard personal foul.
I don't know if that was it.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a 15-yarder marked back from. See if we can get any kind of look at it. Right there. Well, no.
No, I think that had to be it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I'm not so. I mean, 45. I don't know. I'm not so sure that was kind of a blindside deal. I don't know about that.
In any case, the 15-yarder will wipe out the touchdown and we'll bring it back to the 36-yard line. It was still fun to watch.
It was very fun to watch. And Bowman is something special, isn't he? Yeah. He's a game breaker.
And off up the middle here, they go back to Jones. Royals trying to rip the football free.
Quite a little scrum there. Coach Nagan is animated, fun to watch on the sidelines.
I think it's a little easier to swallow when you lose a touchdown, when you got this lead, certainly. But absolutely. I don't know. It's hard to say. Just the indications seem to be that they must have been calling a blindside block there, but I agree with you. I'm not so sure that it really was.
Yeah, it looked like 45 was just heading downfield. It wasn't like he was heading towards the sidelines. And usually 9 times out of 10, on a flag like that, it's usually blocking the back. It's always blocking the back.
Gopher offensive lineman had one called on him like that last week too, where he blew a guy up and they called it a blindside block, and I didn't really think it was, but
Yeah, maybe it's a point of emphasis, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, certainly the safety part of it and everything, but Breitbach looking to throw deep downfield, and Bowman has it. Bowman now cutting it back, and then ridden down hard by Chicolas as he catches up to him, but another big gainer here for the Falcons.
One way or the other, they're going to get Bowman in the end zone, I think, Jay. Nice ball.
45-yard gain that time.
Well, Armstrong definitely not sitting on this lead, Jay.
Bowman making his way over onto the track, and the trainer working with him a little bit there.
Yeah, he took a pretty good hit there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He might have got the wind knocked out of him on something like that as he got slammed to the ground. And speaking of slammed to the ground there, as they go the handoff back to Jones. And Bowman, see, taking some deep breaths in.
Yeah.
I kind of suspect that might be what it is, but obviously we don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be all right. If I'm Hopkins, I'm gonna be wary or be watching for that little flip play again, Jay. You got Barrett split out over here on the near side.
Second down and 9. And a quick stop there as Murphy is able to wrap up the ball carrier Christian Lee. I was going to say, Jones has about earned himself a break, I would think, here. So Lee gets the handoff there.
And then some. Yeah. Yeah.
Bowman is back on the field, so injury not too serious there as we suspected.
Yeah, Jones has had a really good night of work. Back in the pistol for Armstrong.
3rd and 12 here. Breitbach throwing, and that one was deflected. It looked like he had his man breaking free there, Lewis.
He did a little play action, and he was running free, Jay.
Bring up a 4th down and 12 here for Armstrong. Looks like they're going to bring the field goal unit in.
Be about a 35-yarder, Jay.
Yeah, you don't, necessarily really need the points here, but it's a chance to work on your field goal to, in game situation too.
Absolutely. For down the road when you when it really is important.
And you also, as a coach, you're always looking at making it another score ahead, so they would be looking at a 26-point lead if they're able to make this one.
Right.
No longer could be caught by 3 touchdowns. I think coaches, as you could attest, Joe, coaches think a little bit differently than fans when it comes to, when you feel secure with a lead. I don't think you really do until it's really pretty much in the books.
No, that's right. Yeah. And because coaches typically have seen it go the other way. It can go the other way quickly, and I think that's exactly right.
Now hosts St. Michael Albertville Thursday, September 26th at 5:30.
Bees for the field goal try, and it is
Jay.
good. Yes, 35-yard field goal for Bees.
I was just gonna say about Bees, he's had a couple where he's been under the ball, and they've kind of knuckled for him or didn't go very far. But when he's been on the money, he's got a decent leg.
Yeah, he got that one through with relative ease there.
Yep. And like you said, later in the season, you get in a tight game, the weather's not so great. be a big 3 points for you.
I think a lot of times too we have a tendency to focus a little too much on just how good the kicker is or isn't, when you got to have the snap, you got to have the hold, and you got to have the protection too.
Right, right. Oh yeah, it's an operation, no doubt about it. And it all has to go. It all has to go clean.
I always find it kind of fascinating to see what various coaches do to try and simulate game-like conditions for that, because obviously you don't want anybody getting hurt, rushing full speed in practice or anything like that. But at the same time, you don't want your kicker to just go against a defense that stands up and raises their arms and doesn't really actually, bother you or put any kind of pressure on you either.
Right, right. I know a lot of times what we used to do, we'd group up the entire team. We'd have our twos in there or whatever and come hard, but we'd also have the rest of the team kind of make a wide circle and just be yelling and try to, throw them off their game that way.
Jacolas made a move that drew some oohs and ahs on that kickoff return there.
I saw him give that dead leg. That was awesome.
From the 34, slipped away from Kim. He tries to get it back himself. Looks like the Royals will wind up with it. I think it was ruled a fumble, not a pass. And recovered up front there by Elijah Wolf.
See it again.
Well, we talked about how it was warmer than it's been, and you have to wonder a little bit. Not trying to make an excuse for Kim, but if the ball wasn't a little slipperier because of that.
Right. It kind of looks like it. It definitely was a little slippery.
They need 5:40 on the clock.
They may be calling this an incomplete pass, I think. They're putting a little time back on the clock here, so they must have ruled it ultimately as an incompletion. I think they kind of let it play out, and then officials maybe gave a quick talk and said, could that have been a forward pass? And it looks like it must have been ruled so. Up the middle, strong run there. Not enough for a first, but like the effort by Dixon.
That is one of the things, like I said earlier, the Hopkins backs run hard. They do run hard. Just got to fix that turnover situation, and that'll keep them in games.
Third and a couple, and that snap hits Patton, and Armstrong is going to get a recovery again, it appears. Yes, they do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened on that one, Jay. I don't know if Patton was cutting in front of him or.
It looked like there was a little confusion about maybe
Here we go.
Well, the snap was just toward him, and that play was going to go that way. And ouch.
It was that east, that kind of east-west snap that
ended up hitting Patton in the mask. And I have to admit, on the first glance, it sort of seemed like Patton made a mistake, but I don't really think so. And looking at it again,
yeah, I thought he stepped maybe in front of
I did
Kim,
too.
But no, he didn't.
New quarterback in for Armstrong is handoff here. Go on the left side. Looks like Lee, the ball carrier again, as wants Ward handing it off.
10th grader, Ward. That's great for the young man. Gets to play for a few minutes here on Friday night, or on, well, in this case Thursday night, I guess. But it's a great opportunity for him.
Back to the ground there, and Lee is wrapped up quickly and thrown to the turf by Barnes. So he'll lose a couple on that carry. But Armstrong now just trying to run it out and chalk up win number 2, and a couple of not just wins, but pretty impressive wins, I think, in these first 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. They're getting some nice momentum going early in the season here. The best you can be is 2-0 right now. So.
With a little toss out to Lee. Made one man miss, but then the pursuit catches up to him.
Yeah.
Brought down by Bryant.
Lee showing little jitterbug moves out there on the edge. Quick toss.
So 4th down and 9 here. I think Armstrong probably at this point really doesn't want to throw the football with this big a lead, but at the same time, 4th and 9, they might consider it. You don't really expect to pick it up by just running straight up the middle here, but we'll see.
Great. I'm thinking they'll probably stay on the ground, Jay.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the case.
Nope.
We have a delay. Yep, delay a game against Armstrong, so march back 5. And I think, probably.
Now they're going to bring the punt team in.
Yeah, and I think every coach has probably been on both ends of a, somewhat lopsided score too. So you know the feeling if you're the team trailing here. You don't want to go up top and score another touchdown necessarily throwing it long. I mean, if you break one on the ground, that is what it is. But
right. Yeah, no need to rub it in, right?
Bees will punt here for the Falcons. High looping snap, but he gets the kick away. Kind of a gutsy catch on that one to return the ball in traffic by Dixon.
Good coverage by Armstrong on that, on a line drive kick, which is usually a little easier to return.
Yeah, Cisse got down there in a hurry, unable to make a tackle for the Falcons. So we're just down to 2:31 to go in the game and a 37-11 Armstrong lead. Again, most of their damage done in the first half. They scored 20 first quarter points and jumped out to a 20-0 lead. And then one touchdown in the second quarter and a touchdown and a field goal in the fourth, leading to this margin. Hopkins, boy, when they scored that TD and 2-pointer to get within 27-11, it felt like, this could really become a game here. But then they had a couple more key mistakes.
Right.
Throwing it out to Murph, and is this going to be a lateral?
You know what? It's going to be close.
Yes.
Yeah.
They rule it a lateral, and it'll be a fumble recovered by Ronstadt for Armstrong. I really think Murph might have been going to throw this ball. I think it looked like there was a pass, a double pass.
Double pass. Yep, I agree with you, because it looks like he was setting up for that. Although I don't see any receivers releasing though, Jay. But but his body positioning sure looked like he was getting ready to execute the double pass.
Yeah, and so Murph, I think, have to be disappointed. Obviously, they didn't hold it, but then got to try and get on that ball. Not that he necessarily would have been able to there anyway, but. So the 5th turnover on the Royals, and that's been as big of a problem as any that they've had tonight.
Well, it's a little quarterback counter here, Jay.
And spun down hard there as Ward, but nice gainer.
It was. They pulled the backside guard and backside tackle, and a little step in the opposite direction by the young sophomore, and then he countered to the right. Nice little play.
Down under 2 minutes to go now. Armstrong sure instructing him to use as much of the time as you can here before you keep snapping here. Going to go out with the toss left side to Lee, gets a block. Lee cutting back, and he's going to be in for the touchdown. No, there's a flag down though. Might be a hold here perhaps.
Oh, we got the
holding call against the Falcons will wipe out the potential touchdown for Lee. In the overall scheme, it doesn't matter that much, but obviously to Lee, he was disappointed. He thought, gosh, I'm so excited I got a touchdown here.
Very much, very much so. And it's so great to because these young men, the reserves, the twos, whatever you want to call them, I mean, they work hard all week long, and this is kind of their time to shine. And yeah.
Hard to tell for sure if they called it on the receiver out there on the edge. I did see a little bit of a lockup with, I believe it was a left guard or left tackle that stayed engaged and maybe had a little bit of jersey too. That was probably it.
There's that counter again, Jay.
Ward.
This
trying
time.
to shake a tackle there, but they just too many blue shirts coming at him there, and they wrap him up.
Ward will ball over to the Hopkins.
This is a tough part of the game for Hopkins. You know, it obviously can be frustrating, and they just want it to end and start fresh for next week.
Third down, they go with the toss back to Lee, and that one is not going to get near the end zone. It was good pursuit there for Hopkins by Mac Reed. And it'll be 4th down and long, but I'm not sure they're going to need to run another play here. Yeah, I think the officials are. Oh, it could come into play what we talked about last week, that the play clock starting in theory earlier than it used to, or
right.
And a lot of times in these kind of spots they would sort of slow play it to just, you know, not make them run another play, but looks like they'll have to in this case. 4th down, go with the handoff here, and stopped well short of the first down. Obviously there was Cortez Ward. So Hopkins will take over on downs, but that's going to tick us down to zeros, and the Falcons will pick up their 2nd straight win to begin this 2019 season. And Joe, I know we looked at the stats and the result last week, and we thought, wow, you know, Armstrong, that's a nice win for them over Spring Lake Park. What are they going to look like tonight? And you can see why they could be a pretty good team.
Really, really good. And you know, the Breitbach-Bowman combination is pure just home run. But then you also can't discount the fact that the other 3 receivers are pretty good. And then again, you know, their depth at running back. Jones, you know, had a real nice evening. So they definitely have weapons on offense that can really hurt you.
Yeah, and they did a solid job defensively for the most part as well, forcing some of those turnovers. Some of them, you know, maybe kind of unforced, but still you have to make the recoveries, and they did that as well. So Armstrong picking up the win. Hopkins did some good things, but obviously with the number of mistakes they had in terms of turnovers and also just snapping issues really kind of put them in a tough spot here tonight, and they'll look to bounce back next week. And again, Falcons fans, reminder, we will be over at Armstrong next week as the Falcons host Park Center. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's telecast here from Hopkins. For Joe Basil and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Your final is Armstrong 37, Hopkins 11.